Yeah, and I'm sure it was indeed. Now, answering that question, I think most teenagers, given that extra hour in the day, would probably text some more, because check this out. Recent statistics have revealed that the average teenager sends between 2,000 and 3,000 text messages a month. What? And we don't realize just how dangerous texting can be for our health. So that's exactly why we brought a doctor in today to talk about that and ask the question, is your cell phone a health issue? If you've got any questions or comments to make on the subject, give us a call on 083-9133-728. Doc, I'm scared already because I know I spend a lot of time on my cell phone.
We all do.
Yeah, right? It's just how the world works these days. But I heard that it can result in something called de Quervain's tendinitis. Right? Yeah. What is that?
That's one of the conditions that affect locally from using your thumb when texting. Specifically, most people use their thumbs, unlike the keyboard situation.
Yes.
You can imagine from overuse and those quick, rapid movements, if it's persistent, it's normally movement that you don't normally do, but of a tendon that is then strained and overused. Like you have tendinitis of the knee developing, for example, from climbing hills too much or you know, putting your body under sudden stresses and strains. So too, that base of thumb becomes so painful where you have inflammation of that tendon due to overuse. So, and also you develop then what's called, you know, later on, you could have problems with the carpal tunnel itself, which is a space through which the tendons run at the level of the wrist. You can see that little sheath covering them over there. Those nerves can swell. You could have soft tissue growth in that area, and you can have then a tightness or pressure increasing in that compartment for carpal tunnel, which might need to be released at some stage if it causes significant symptoms. But de Quervain, overuse and inflammation at the base of the thumb.
You've just scared me seriously now, because, I mean, during my training I also boxed, so I did get a bit of an injury on my thumb.
On the thumb itself,
just in terms of the contact point, but it hasn't really fully recovered. So is this just an aggravation of something that's already been there, or did it start off with the overuse of yourself?
I think from the knock, obviously, you started the process of inflammation.
Yeah.
So, you know, the use of your thumb and not resting it can add to it all. It can make it a bit worse. Yes. Obviously. But, you know, the issue here is when you have inflammation at the base of the thumb, it gets so severe that just rotating like you're opening a handle is even painful. Pain radiates down the forearm. It really is quite a debilitating condition where you then even suffer with things like grip strength and, you know, struggling to grip things tightly. Yeah. So it really limits your performance.
So I guess those are some of the basic symptoms to know that, yes, you might be suffering from de Quervain's tendinitis.
Correct.
So how do we treat it then?
Yeah, so a different array of treatments we use. The first one is to rest it, and that we do a splint. So you often splint the thumb. So you'll wear a little wrist guard that's got a specific reinforced piece of plastic or metal in the guard that keeps it immobile. They use steroid injections to suppress the inflammation and anti-inflammatories, etc. And then you'll obviously have to follow up. You do a bit of hand rehab with a good hand occupational therapist as well. That helps you strengthen some of the ligaments around that area later on.
Now, I did say that our lines are open for you to call us and ask questions or give your comments. And we've got Mpho from Bronkhorstspruit. Good morning, Mpho.
Morning, Kate.
Very, very nice to have you with us this morning. What is your question or your comment to the doctor about the subject?
I'm good. I just want to ask, as I've heard that Darren Green said when we're texting it's affecting our health. So I wanted to know in which way our health is being affected and how can we reduce that from affecting our bodies.
So maybe just go over again, once again, in which ways, like she just asked Mpho right now, in which ways can our hands be affected, and how can we reduce the possible damage that can be done?
Sure. So often it's useful by using, if you have a smartphone, to change the keypad, put it down on a flat surface, use your other fingers as well, instead of overusing the thumb.
Yes.
We try to all message with one hand. So you'll find we use one hand, and we use the thumb to navigate around, stretching over the sides to the top, etc. And we do it at high speed, which puts a lot of tension, obviously, at the base of thumb specifically, and those muscles. So putting the phone flat and using your other fingers is one way of using it. So for people that struggle with a bit of eyesight, a bigger font size and a bigger size screen, for example. But also, obviously, you have to look at the amount that you're putting it under. I mean, you've got to space it out. You can't just 3,000 texts a month is a bit of overkill, and that's what we see.
Sometimes it's make a call. How about that?
Correct.
Make a call. There we go. Thank you very much, Doc. We will continue this conversation after the break, but let's also find out what else you can expect on your Feel Good Breakfast show this morning.